Generations ago, this village won a hard-fought battle against Wu Fong, the Lord of the Nine Hells. His corpse was cremated, and the urn housing his ashes was buried in the cemetery. The living have long forgotten his cursed legacy, but locked away in hell, Wu Fong has forgotten nothing. After decades of searching, he has located his urn, and he has sent ghostly minions to the village to retrieve it, unbeknownst to the oblivious villagers. Fortunately, you and your fellow Taoist priests have been tasked with guarding the border between the realms of the living and the dead. You see this threat for what it is, and you must do everything in your power to send this reincarnation of Wu Fong back to hell where he belongs. Welcome to Ghost Stories. This video will show you the basics of how to play this co-op game with a full team of 4 players on the Initiation difficulty level. If you need to know how to play with a smaller group or on a higher difficulty, check out pages 9 and 10 of the rulebook to see what changes. Randomly arrange the 9 village tiles in a 3x3 grid in the center of the table. Make sure each tile is face up, with all 9 villagers visible. Randomly place the 4 player boards along the sides of the grid like so, ideally facing each side toward a different player's seat. Randomly determine which side of each board is face up, which indicates each player's unique player power, which are described on pages 8 and 9 of the rulebook. Give everyone 4 Qi tokens, their colored Yin-Yang token, a Tao token matching that color, and 1 black Tao token. Place all the Taoist minis on the center tile, the 2 Buddha minis on the Buddhist temple tile, and all the rest of the tokens and minis in a supply somewhere off to the side. Shuffle the 10 Wu Fong cards and draw one at random without looking at it. You can put the rest back in the box. Shuffle all the ghost cards and form the draw pile by first putting down 10 of them, then adding the Wu Fong card you just selected to the top of that stack, and putting the remaining 45 ghost cards on top of that. The player who most recently watched a Kung Fu movie goes first. Your objective for the bulk of the game is simply survival. Exorcise ghosts and unhaunt the village tiles they try to haunt, and avoid losing all your Qi tokens, which are your life points. Once the incarnation of Wu Fong shows up, your objective is to exorcise him. If you can do that, you'll win the game, but it won't be easy. Before we get into how you'll achieve this objective, let's go over the anatomy of the ghost cards. Each ghost will have one of 5 colors: red, yellow, blue, green, or black. In the top left, you'll see a number of icons matching that color, which indicates that ghost's resistance. The more icons there are, the tougher that ghost will be to exorcise. At the bottom are the ghost's abilities. You can see the details of what each of these abilities does on one of the reference cards. If it's in the spot in the bottom left corner, it will be applied as soon as the ghost enters play. The spot in the middle means it's applied during your turn once the ghost is already in play, which we'll get to in a minute. And the spot on the bottom right is applied when the ghost is exorcised. Sometimes this will be a curse, and sometimes it'll be a reward. There are 2 phases to every turn: the Yin phase and the Yang phase. During the Yin phase, you'll start by announcing which ghosts are already present on your board. At the start of the game, you won't have any, but that will quickly change. If you do have ghosts on your board at the start of your turn, this is where the ability in the bottom middle section is applied. If a ghost card has this symbol, that means it's a haunter. The first time this ability is applied, you'll put a ghost mini on top of the card. The next time it's applied, you'll move that mini 1 space toward the village, and the time after that, you'll return the mini to the card and haunt the closest tile to the ghost by flipping it face down. If that tile's already haunted, you'll flip the next one in that row instead. Haunted village tiles have no villagers on them, which we'll cover in a bit, but they're also a lose condition. If at any point 3 village tiles are haunted at the same time, the village is lost to Wu Fong and his ghosts, and you and your friends lose the game. If a ghost has this symbol, that means it's a tormentor. Whenever this ability is applied, the active player rolls the curse die and applies its effect. On a blank, nothing happens. On this symbol, the first unhaunted tile in that ghost's row is haunted. This one means you add a new ghost, following the arrival process we'll cover in just a moment. This one means you discard all your Tau tokens. And this one means you lose 1 chi. After you've applied those abilities, check to see if you have room on your player board for more ghosts. If you don't, you lose 1 chi. If you do, move on to step 3, Ghost Arrival. Draw a new ghost from the deck to put in play. If possible, a red, green, blue, or yellow ghost will go on the player board of its matching color, and a black ghost will go on your own board. If the appropriate board's already full, though, you'll choose where to put it instead. And in the event a new ghost forces you to draw another ghost, and all 12 player board spaces are occupied, you'll lose 1 chi. Your chi tokens are your life points, by the way. If you lose them all, you die. You lose all your stuff, and your mini lays down on the cemetery tile. You can still help your friends with brainstorming what to do, but you'll have to wait for one of them to resurrect you before you can help them in a physical sense. A dead Taoist's board is still active, but it's neutral. Skip everything after the ghost action step of the yin phase on a neutral board's turn. Once you're done with the ghost arrival step of the yin phase, move on to the yang phase. First, you may, if you choose, move your Taoist mini from its current tile to an adjacent tile in any direction, including diagonal. Next, you can choose to either request help from the villager on the tile your Taoist is standing on, or attempt an exorcism. We'll start with exorcisms. You may exorcise any ghost that's adjacent to the tile your Taoist is standing on. So you can't exorcise any ghosts from the center tile, and you can potentially exorcise 2 at a time from a corner. Roll all 3 Tau dice and check the resistance of the ghosts you're attempting to exorcise. If you rolled enough of that ghost's color to match or exceed its resistance, it is defeated. Its reward or curse, indicated on that bottom right corner, is applied, and then the card is sent to the discard pile. Note, white faces count as any one color of your choice. If you didn't roll enough to defeat the ghost, you can, if you want, spend Tau tokens of that ghost's color to make up the difference. And if another Taoist is on the same space as you, they can spend their Tau tokens to help too. If you're attempting to exorcise 2 ghosts at once from one of those corner tiles, a single roll of the Tau dice is used for both of them. If the result, with or without Tau tokens, gives you enough to defeat either of them, but not both, you get to choose. You always have the choice of spending or not spending Tau tokens, but if you have enough dice alone to successfully exorcise a ghost, you have to do it, even if the resulting curse spells doom for you or your friends. The other option at this step, as we just mentioned, is requesting help from the villager on your Taoist's current village tile, provided it's not currently haunted. All 9 tiles offer a different action here. There's a reference card with a full list of these actions, but we'll speed through them all here too. Ready? Taoist Altar. Unhaunt a village tile by turning it face up and bring a new ghost into play. Herbalist's Shop. Roll 2 Tau dice and take matching Tau tokens from the supply. Sorcerer's Hut. Lose 1 chi to discard any ghost in play, ignoring its reward or curse ability. Night Watchman's Beat. Move all haunters on the player board of your choice backwards 1 space. They don't move if they're already on the card. Buddhist Temple. Take a Buddha mini from the tile so you can place it on a future turn. More on this later. Circle of Prayer. Place a Tau token of your choice from the supply on this tile, or swap the one that's there, to reduce the resistance of all ghosts of the corresponding color by 1 as long as the token stays there. Note, ghosts with 0 resistance must still be attacked before they're discarded. Pavilion of the Heavenly Winds. Move any ghost, along with any attached tokens, status effects, and its current haunt progress, to any free space, then move another player's Taoist to any village tile you choose. Tea House. Take a Tau token of your choice from the supply, gain 1 chi, and bring a ghost into play. Cemetery. Resurrect a dead Taoist by placing their mini upright on this tile and give them 2 chi from the supply, then roll the curse die for yourself. After you've chosen to either take the assistance of one of these villagers or attempted to perform an exorcism, you may place a Buddha Mini, if you acquired one during a previous turn, on any empty ghost space. If you picked up a Buddha Mini on this turn, you'll have to hold on to it until your next one before you can place it. A ghost space with a Buddha is protected. As soon as a ghost enters this space, it is immediately discarded, and none of its abilities, including curses or rewards, go into effect in the process. The Buddha Mini then goes back to the Buddhist temple. Each player starts the game with a yin-yang token, which can be spent before or after, but not in the middle of, any step during the yang phase of your turn. When you spend your yin-yang token, you may choose to either get help from any villager in the village, no matter where your Taoist is, or unhaunt any haunted tile you choose. If you can last long enough to get down to 11 cards before the bottom of the ghost deck, the incarnation of Wu Fong will appear. The card is put in play just like any other ghost, and exercising it is the only way to win the game. An incarnation cannot be defeated by a Buddha or the Sorcerer's HUD ability. If it comes into play on a space occupied by a Buddha, the Buddha simply goes back to the temple. Each incarnation also has its own unique abilities and special requirements for an exorcism to be successful. You'll find an appendix at the back of the rulebook detailing them all. The game ends in victory for all players if they manage to exorcise the incarnation of Wu Fong. If all Taoists lose all their chi and die, if 3 village tiles become haunted at the same time, or if the last ghost card comes into play before Wu Fong is exorcised, the game ends in agonizing defeat as the minions of hell rise up and devour the village and everything in it. Note, exorcising the incarnation does not immediately end the game. Any curse resulting from its exorcism must be applied first. Victory is only yours if that curse doesn't cause you to lose. And that is the gist of how to play Ghost Stories.
Hey there, my name's Kyle McCarlin. I'm a voice actor by trade. You may have heard me as one of these guys. But I'm here to talk to you now about one of my favorite hobbies, board games. I love them. If you like board games, you should check out The Board and Barrel every Sunday night at 7:30 Pacific on twitch.tv/Kyle McCarlin, where me and my buddies play board games. We also give you guys a chance to help us or hurt us, depending on how you feel, with our Buff and Nerf house rules. And we have virtual bingo cards you can fill out while you're watching the show. It's a good time. Hope to see you there.